Okay, I wanted to talk face to face because I feel like this subject is very serious and I shouldn't really be talking over, a fucking stage mix or something like that. No hate to anyone who does that. I just wanted to talk to you guys face to face for this subject matter. So Chaeyoung from Twice was exposed, not really exposed, but just really caught for wearing a Sid Vicious shirt that had a swastika or a Hakenkreuz symbol on it. Because really what it is a Hakenkreuz, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is a Nazi swastika, is what it is. There's actually a difference between what a Hakenkreuz is, what it represents, and what a swastika represents. And a lot of both K YouTubers and just people online who are spreading information don't know the difference. And it's kind of dangerous because for a lot of other cultures that have a swastika, that actually means the complete opposite of what a Hakenkreuz represents. It can be a little bit misleading. She was exposed for wearing this shirt multiple times in a previous Insta post, exposed in a restaurant for wearing it, apparently maybe also at a pre-show for Billboard Music Awards wearing it, and of course she's been called out for this, really, really dragged online for it, rightfully so, because the Hakenkreuz represents in completely evil, atrocious, disgusting stain in human history. And it's not even just like Western history, it's world history. World War II, the Nazi Party. Everyone knows about the Nazi Party in World War II. Even some countries that don't hold the same education as maybe like Europe or the United States does with that kind of matter. World War II, it involved multiple different countries. Because I've seen some people who are protecting Chaeyoung saying, well, not everything's about America, not everything's about Europe. Like she may not have known. I promise you, in this day and age of social media, Chaeyoung is first of all an adult. She has also vouched for, knowing a good amount about Western culture and stuff. So the fact that she doesn't know is honestly more concerning, if anything. But she probably does know. I want everyone to throw their biases aside for this. This should not be something that should even think about your bias being in mind here. Like Chaeyoung is literally part of my bias line in Twice. She's one of my favorite members in the group, but I'm still going to call her out and hold her accountable for it because what she did was wrong. Okay? See a lot of onces online who aren't doing that very, very basic fucking thing. Some of y'all are literally willing to throw away your morals over a fucking K-pop idol that does not care about you nor will ever care about you, which is just a vicious example of the parasocial relationship dynamic in K-pop, which is extremely harmful. Now, this is blown up to the point where you have a ton of K-pop YouTubers talking about it, but you also have news outlets in the United States talking about it, like TMZ. You have all of these different platforms, NME, like a lot of different platforms are talking about this now. It's not just it's a K-pop thing. It's a lot of countries are talking about it kind of thing. I also want to go over the difference between a Hakenkreuz and a swastika. Now, Hakenkreuz is a Nazi swastika. It's what it is. Hitler basically took a swastika for his party, tilted it a little bit, changed it around, and is now labeled as a Hakenkreuz. It's a hooked version of a swastika. And because of how prevalent World War II is in our history and how big it was, you learn about it, especially a lot in the United States, very early on. I mean, you learn about it. I was learning about it in like middle school, right? And you learn about it all throughout high school and stuff like that, even into college, right? And because of this, the Hakenkreuz actually changed the way I looked at that symbol throughout all my childhood. I would see swastikas, not Hakenkreuz, like swastikas used on clothing, but they weren't Hakenkreuz. They were like different swastikas, whether it be from Buddhism or a different culture, right? And I would look at that and say, "Oh, that's a swastika, that's a Hakenkreuz, right?" But at the time, I just thought it was just a swastika because I lopped them all into one category. It wasn't until high school that I was finally taught like the swastika is actually mainly from Buddhism culture or Buddhism religion, excuse me, but it is prevalent through so many different cultures throughout history before it ever had any association with the Nazi Party. In Buddhism, it represents the eternal cycle. I mean, it's prevalent in so many different religions and cultures, whether it be Hinduism, Buddhism, just mainly in East Asia. It made its way into Celtic and Balto-Slavic culture, which represented eternal life. Like, these are things I did not know until high school, and more recently when I actually started doing research about this because of this topic the other day. And that's kind of the point I want to give you guys from the situation. Yes, does Chaeyoung deserve to be called out and held accountable? Of course she does. And yes, she's getting badgered online right now. She rightfully deserves it, okay? You need to be called out for these kind of things, even if you didn't learn it in your own school. Okay, even if you went through your schooling system, you didn't learn what it was. You need to be aware that there's other cultures worldwide that you could offend, okay? Other religions you could offend by saying or wearing different things. It's called education, and people in these situations when it comes to K-pop sometimes actively deny giving information to other people. We should be educating both her in this situation, but also other people that can get confused in this situation, right? Like, this is such a great opportunity to educate people. And what I'm seeing online is instead a lot of different K-pop stans fight each other and wants to try to protect her and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, no, she doesn't deserve to be protected right now. I mean, sure, from like death threats and like really trying to cancel her and stuff, sure. Okay, protect her from death threat, because that's going a little too far in my opinion. But when it comes to educating her, yes, we deserve to educate her. And that holds true for a lot of cultural appropriation and racism and idols saying words that they shouldn't be saying. Like, there's so much of that shit that happens in the idol industry, and it's not properly held accountable or called out by the community in any sort of way. Like, the amount of times that K-pop idols have done terrible shit like that, said the N-word, or wore braids tied to a specific culture when they weren't supposed to, and all that, and culture appropriation kind of stuff, and people not care enough or not care at all about it and fail to actually educate the idol themselves or the company is baffling to me. And honestly, there's the argument that the companies are never going to care, and that's true. The companies may never care. You know, you may educate the company, you might have this huge movement of people saying, hey, you know, like, this is what this is, idols shouldn't do it again. The company would be like, okay, fine, they won't do it again. And then they proceed to do it again. There's that argument that the companies will never change it. Maybe they won't. But at least we can try our damn hardest to educate them if they are genuinely ignorant about it, genuinely unknowledgeable about the situation or that symbol or what they said. That could be the case. Or they could just be assholes. But I hate seeing people downplaying the situation, trying to defend her, saying, oh, you know, it isn't all about, I saw someone say, oh, well, you know, the world doesn't revolve around America. World War II was bigger than fucking America. Okay? It was bigger than Europe. It was the whole fucking, it's called World War for a reason. But I think this is a very good opportunity for us as fans worldwide to educate idols about this kind of thing, to educate companies to not do this further. Like, companies get away with this shit. The industry gets away with this shit all the time. And it's honestly sometimes hard even standing a group or biasing a person, because I know, like, K-pop idols can be so ignorant at times at doing this kind of shit, right? You know, I loved aespa, and I was actually a big fan of Giselle before I found out she said the N-word. And then I was like, I'm waiting to see if the company comes out with maybe a statement of their own. I'm sure maybe she'll come out with another statement of her own. But obviously, it's not a good look for her. She deserves to be called out. It deserves to be talked about, because it's just another one of these ignorant things that happens with K-pop idols that you kind of sit there and you're just like, well, you're really not taught about this? Or like, are you really a terrible person behind the scenes? It really just makes you change the way you view some of these people, some of these idols, and also makes you see the way that parasocial relationships have really gripped the K-pop community. How many people are just blindly defending her for this shit? It's like, man. Anyway, I figured I'd make a full video to get my whole thoughts out there. I made 2 community board posts about it, and I was going to make a short about it, but I couldn't fit all my thoughts in that, so I just made this video. I know a lot of other people talking about it. Tell me what you guys think about it. Hopefully, you know, have a thoughtful, mindful discussion below. You know, this is a great situation to educate people, not to spread harm or hate during this situation. So yeah, just remember to do the research for yourself. I see a lot of K-pop YouTubers on it. Oh, she was wearing a swastika. Oh my gosh, like they don't even know like what she wore. Like the Sid Vicious t-shirt she was wearing. Sid Vicious was someone who just did shit to piss people off. He wore a swastika, or a hacking Kreuz, I should say, Nazi swastika, to piss people off. That's what he did it for. That's why it's on the shirt. There's a lot of misinformation out there, but there's also a lot of research and education that can be done because of this. So hopefully you guys take the opportunity to do that, and I will hopefully see you guys in my next video, whatever it's about. But have a good day.